So I recorded this episode, and at the very end I noticed that I do have my desk counter from my last stream still here, and well, I'm not gonna re-record this. It's actually probably not gonna be a hindrance here, so yeah. Hey guys, welcome back to GDScript series. Today we will be talking about enemies pathing and despawning. So we're not gonna take care of spawning right now, just pathing and reaching the end of the map. For this episode, I've added two new textures. We're gonna have two map textures. So first, let's just take the world we have created before, and we're gonna add a sprite 2D for it, which is gonna be at the top of our children. That's important. And this is going to be the background or the map texture. And here you're going to bring the map01 debug, and there we go. So this will take the entire camera space as long as you didn't change the camera settings. This drawing is something I made with Inkscape, and it is basically tailored for the default Godot window settings. I'm just going to hide everything. And here the first thing I'm gonna do basically is create a path that is gonna match this pink line here. So fortunately Godot has a very cool thing, which is a path 2D. The path 2D is a node which we can create and which will create this path I'm talking about. So first we're gonna use the create point tools here, and we're gonna make one at the outside, then one here when we enter the map, and then I'm just gonna follow the breaks of the pink line. And the pink line isn't straight. I just create a point all the way till the end of the map, and again another click outside of it. Now I'm just gonna adjust those points outside so they kind of stay as straight as possible. Well, that's actually good. So now that we have created the path, we actually have the possibility to have objects or nodes follow this path. For this to happen, it is necessary that an object which moves on this path is a path follow to the object. So essentially what it means is that the enemy we have created has to change to not be an enemy 2D anymore, I mean a node 2D, but a path follow 2D. So we're going to go in the enemy script here, and we're going to change the type of the node as a path follow 2D. So there's something very important to do. We need to make sure that the script we have created is updated to mirror this new change. The old script we have is basically enemy 2D inheriting from node 2D or expanding a node 2D. That's not the case anymore. Now we are expanding a path follow 2D, and that's all we have to do at the moment to check this, to update this. Okay, so let's see what happens when we actually reveal one of the enemies and we bring it in the path 2D here, because it's important that the enemy is a child of the path it is following, right? It can be a sibling. So here we have one. And when we actually go in the inspector and move the progress settings here, you will see that the enemy is moving forward on this path. So there's this thing which is kind of annoying here, where the enemy is rotating. That's something we can adjust just by going back to the enemy 2D and choosing the path follow node. We can just uncheck rotate and looping. Now if we actually move it around those corners, it stays, kind of straight up. Now for the game, we're definitely not going to move the enemies by drag and dropping the slider, so we will just update the script for this enemy so that the move method is using this progress thing instead of the position. I'm just going to empty this method, and I'm going to create a new property which is going to be a float movement speed basically. Kind of like we did with the previous video, I'm just gonna create groups. So we're gonna have an export category. Here, this is gonna be enemy stats. Okay. And here we're gonna have the nodes, node connections. I'm just gonna bring the stats on top. For some reasons, I don't know. I'm not sure of the reasoning here. But the point is, we now have a movement speed and we're gonna use the delta thing to change the progress value. We have two different progress, the progress ratio and the progress in pixel. So that's the progress in pixel that we want to be updated. So here we're going to go with something simple like progress is going to be increased by a value, which is, let's say, a float version of delta multiplied by the movement speed. That looks good. So let's actually remove the comments from this method and see what happens. Saving everything and running the scene. Okay, so we do have the enemy actually moving forward, being attacked by the invisible tower, but that's fine. And we do see that the health is actually not really visible because there's no background to the text. This is something we can kind of easily fix by creating a panel container that will be wrapping the debug container here. Okay, so we're just gonna move this panel container. Let's see, transform and the position minus, that's 64 and minus 25. Okay, now we can move it up, holding Alt and Shift, and then holding Alt to get it wider, just in case. Okay, let's see how this is fixing our problem. Well, we can actually move it. Oopsie. Let's move it down a little bit. And yeah, that's kind of readable. That's okay. So now let's bring it back to 0 and get the tower visible around somewhere here. And here we go. So yeah, we can see that the enemy enters the area. It's getting damaged as it is in the tower range. And then when it leaves, it is not damaged anymore. Since we're done with creating the path and this kind of thing, we can also change the map, right? And bring the non-debug texture in there. Okay. For the next part of this video, we're going to go in a exercise style as usual. So here, basically what I want you to do is to check the things you have in your path flow 2D, right? You have progress and progress ratio. And the exercise is that when the enemy reaches the end of the path, you actually do catch this as kind of an event, we're gonna say, and you basically want to make the enemy disappear. So at the moment, we're not gonna manage the player health or anything, just make it disappear when it reaches the end. Okay, so let's see how we can do this. Well, first, I'm gonna create a new method, which is going to be a public void banish. And this is how we will be referring to an enemy reaching the end of the path and basically damaging the player that will be banished. So it will take no argument, and so far the only thing it will do is queue-free. And also we're going to GDScript something just to make sure that we know an enemy was banished. And eventually we can add the reference of that enemy by interpolating this so that we do have the node path so that we can see it's correctly different enemies being banished. So that's for the banish method. Now, when do we trigger it? So we can do that in move. Yeah. Or we can just create something different. No, move is okay. We can do that in move. So right after the enemy has moved, we're gonna make a check to see that if the progress ratio is superior or equal to 1.0f. I think it's a float. Is it a float? It is a float. So 1.0f. And if that is the case, then we want to banish the enemy, basically. Okay, so this should be saved. Let's see what happens. Do I actually want to make this enemy faster so that it reaches the end way much faster? So it's running, and we should see banishing appearing sometime. Yeah, an enemy was banished. Okay, cool. So it's actually all I will be showing you in this episode today. For the next one, which is going to be enemy instantiation, it's going to be a big one, so I need to start fresh instead of making this one so much longer by having both the pathing and the spawning. So anyway, I hope you liked this and that was useful. As usual, you can like and everything, and if you want to access the episodes as they are being released, which is slightly before, you can become a member. That helps me get the foundings which allow me to make these episodes and keep this series going. Otherwise, you can join the Discord if you have questions or anything, and I'll see you in the next video or in the stream if you want to see us there.